Welcome back with the Honda Africa Twin 1100. Today we're gonna make it a little bit more toury with two original accessories from Honda. One being the tall windscreen over there, which you guys can probably see because it's so transparent that it's almost invisible. And the other one is the rear rack over there. So we're gonna put it on, but enough with the chit chat, let's get on it. As you guys can see, the original windscreen is quite short, which is great when you're doing off-roading, when you're doing actually quite technical trails, because you have a lot of space up front. There is no risk, even on a steep hill, to get a face full of windscreen. But when you go on a long trip like the one I'm doing up to Seattle, well, you want a little bit more protection, and the tall windscreen from Honda actually works great. It's gonna be quite a bit taller, and at the same time it's gonna be easy to install and good quality considering that it's OEM. How much taller is the tall windscreen? Well, quite a bit actually. If you put the tall windscreen on top of the one that comes with the bike, you have this much more, about 7 inches. We're gonna start by removing this windscreen over here, which is just 4 Allen keys. The tall windscreen actually comes with extra shade for your display. It comes with this extra piece of plastic, which is supposed to be double taped on top over here like this, to avoid that the sun will go through the windscreen and magnify on top of the display. Instead of double taping this over here, I'm actually gonna put industrial strength Velcro on it, so I can put it on when I tour, and I can rip it off when I'm not. Obviously I measured it and cut it and shaped it so that it fit perfectly where I want it to. And now I'm gonna just let it be for a couple of days, make sure that the glue from the Velcro attaches properly to both sides, and worry about that later. What I'm doing right now, I'm prepping the hardware to be put on the bike, so we get the rubbery grommet with the whatever it's called inside, and we add the big Teflon washer right onto it. This is after, with the little Teflon washer in between. This is before with no Teflon washer in between. Alright, first thing we need to do is remove the small rubber grommet thingy. This is what came with the bike. This is the one that they give you for the bigger windscreen. It's bigger, it's beefier, and the installation is very easy. You just put it in the bigger hole and then you push it up. And instead of just using 4 of them, they give you 6 of them. And then it's time to put the windscreen on. And when it comes to the windscreen, or I should say when it comes to the screws, remember the sequence is Teflon and rubber. Rubber goes against the new windscreen. Honda even gives you torque specs for the screws, which, if you really want to be meticulous, it's 0.4 Newton meters or 0.3 foot-pound of torque. I don't think I have a torque wrench that goes that low, so it's gonna be Endfelt. Now, if you're not planning to remove the windscreen, the taller one, or whatever windscreen you decide, you might want to put a little bit of thread lock on it so that those don't come undone with the vibrations. Time to install the rear rack. This is a little bit more involving than the front screen, and we obviously have to remove the seat, which is self-explanatory, But before we begin, do you get yourself one of those Master Shade 3 mechanic? You should. What you need to do is obviously remove the seat, and the second thing to do is to remove this thing, which in theory is what the passenger is supposed to hold on to as you're carrying him around. I kept it under the seat. I didn't like it. I don't want it. So it's a 10mm regular socket. Just undo it, take it away. Now, the instruction called to save this, so let's put it aside. I'm not quite sure why they want us to save it. Maybe they want us to put it back on it. If that's the case, it's not gonna happen. Grab a 6mm Allen key, and there is actually an Allen key right here that we got to remove. Let's put it aside. And obviously there is one on this side as well. Also, there is one under here. So I'm gonna start taking it apart. We can finally remove the side, and to remove the side there are two clips. One over here and one over here. And to remove this kind of clip, grab a pointy object like a small screwdriver or something. You push the center of the clip in like that, and then you just grab it and pull it out. There are little tabs over here that you guys kind of need to pull forward and out to have it come out. But remember to be gentle with it. You break one of those tabs and now the fairing is not as firm and solid as it used to be. There are a few things we gotta remove from the side, and one is this clip over here. And to remove this clip, this silver clip, you just have to rotate it like that. Once you rotate it, the clip comes out, and once you remove the clip, you can get this black plastic and remove it and put it aside. You also need to remove this part over here, and to remove that there is another clip, one of those push-in clips, and put it aside. And at this point you gotta grab the blue part and slide it backwards. So you grab it and you slide it back that way and put this aside. At this time it's time to install on this side panel the pannier bracket cover, which is this one over here. That is what the installation instructions call for, but if you do it that way, you're not going to be able to install it later on. So don't attach it to the side panel just yet. Keep them separate. Alright, this is the part that everybody enjoys the most, and it's warning stickers time. They tell you not to use this one, but to use this one and to put it right here. But I spent time removing those kind of stickers from around the bike, so I'm not gonna put it there. Instead, and since I am a rebel, I'm gonna put this sticker under here just in case I go senile and I don't remember that this is only rated for 10 kilos. So warning stickers is right over here, as safe as ever. So here we are. It's time to put these on, and the way you do it is you slide it in from the top, nice and easy. Watch out not to scratch anything, and then forward. Bend the little plastics, the black plastics over here just a bit, and there is it. Get the 8mm bolts and put them in. You know what? That is not quite asking for it, but I'm gonna put some blue thread lock on. grab the pannier brackets, grab the gray clips over here and put the clips inside the hole, which I may recommend if you're actually going to install hard panniers on it. There are panniers frame bolts in there, so skip this step. At this point we can finally put the bracket on, and the bracket goes on those two holes over here. And when you install this, remember the short bolt goes in the back, the longer bolt goes up front, and this time around you have actually washers on the bolt, unlike this one over here. So the instructions once more ask to keep it loose, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep it loose and move on to the other side. It's now time to torque those 6 bolts we just installed, and they are 35 Newton meters or 26 foot-pound of torque. Stop. You got to the part where on the instruction it tells you to torque everything up before you put the side panel on. Don't do it, because you gotta wiggle the tabs of the piece of fairing in there, and if this one doesn't move a little bit, you don't have enough room to get those tabs in there. This one is okay to torque, those two not quite yet. Remember when I told you not to attach those two pieces together before putting it on the bike? This is why. This piece over here needs to go behind the bracket, and the tabs need to go inside the fairing. So there is not enough room if this thing is tied or torqued properly. You don't just have those two tabs over here that need to go in there, you also have this on the bottom that needs to slide into the bottom part of the fairing like this. So let's do it. At this point, when this one is actually solid and it's in there, you can torque those. Now that this is in and this is torqued properly, it's time to install this. And this is how you gotta do it. First of all, remember the two tabs that push in and slide back? So you put them on in there and slide them back. You can actually slide this back a little bit and put the pin in the back like that. And now sit it back down where it's supposed to be. So there is one tab up front. That seems pretty solid. So we're gonna put the screw back down here. All right, pretty solid. And last, the two pin on the inside. And now it's solid and it's been installed with a less amount of trouble, unlike what the instructions want you to actually do. All right, we are done for today. So, what spare parts you should be left with right now? Well, when it comes to the windscreen, obviously the shorty and 4 of those rubber grommets over here. When it comes to the rack installation, well, I didn't want to install this thing back on the bike, so there is that. Then there are those 2 Allen screws over here, the big ones we took from the back. And then obviously, too bad because I really like this blue, those blue covers that come from here, but obviously now they've been replaced by the pannier attachment. So it is what it is, blue parts, 2 of those gone. And that is about it. The installation was fairly easy. Hopefully I gave you some good pointers where not to follow the installation instructions that come straight from Honda. you follow my channel just because of these pointers. So there you have it. The bike looks much better. It looks much tourier. Actually, somehow this thing makes the bike look bigger. But I really like it because I can actually tie a few things to this one directly. And if in the future I want to buy the Honda panniers, I can put it on without having to add anything else to it. Thank you very much to my patrons. They're making all of this possible. If you want to support the channel, become a patron. If you don't want to support the channel, well, okay. But if you like the video, if you love the video, subscribe. That is free. And nothing. Ride on or work on your bike, and I'll see you next time. Oi! Oi!
What?
What do you mean what? What are you doing?
I'm playing Pac-Man. Like.
I know you're playing Pac-Man. I'm recording. I need quiet.
So it can see me?
No, you can't see you. Can hear you though. They definitely can hear you. Like talking to the wall.
Oh, I could talk to the wall.
Oi! Go back in there.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's go to the bike.